Hello all you lovely people, hope you're well. Jules here for WhatCulture.com, and as some of you might have seen, I recently put out a list on some 2019 films that have been cancelled and for what reasons. So what I thought I'd do is make a list to remind us that while 2019 might have a few less reasons to be excited, 2018 was a veritable bumper crop of great films. Too many, in fact, as amongst all of the massive blockbusters and Oscar-baiting flicks, a fair few films unfortunately slipped through the cracks for many. So let's take a look at some projects that not only deserve your time, but deserve more recognition in general. I'm Jules, this is WhatCulture.com, and these are 10 awesome 2018 movies that you probably missed. Number 10, Blindspotting. A searing directorial debut from Carlos Lopez Estrada, this dark comedy about a parolee trying to live out his final 3 days on parole without incident is one of the year's most potent commentaries on relations between the black community and police officers in contemporary America. Undeniably grim, yet also surprisingly hilarious, the film is glued together with terrific chemistry between the two leads who actually wrote the script together, and portrays a film so provoking and so righteously angry that it's almost impossible to look away. It doesn't care to be subtle, and rightly so. Police shootings and violence against minorities is a huge talking point in America, and Estrada doesn't so much bring a loudspeaker to the conversation, instead favouring a sledgehammer. And for all of its political intent, the film never loses sight of what's most important, that it delivers its message in an entertaining and engaging way. Number 9, Thoroughbreds. This deliciously dark comedy follows disaffected youths Lily and Amanda as they plot to murder Lily's stepfather. Writer-director Corey Finley instantly earmarks himself as a filmmaker to watch with this storming debut, a shockingly sure-handed effort which balances its tone perfectly while giving its two leads the floor to deliver perhaps their strongest performances to date. The acid-tongue banter between the two is brilliant, luring the viewer into a horrible twist of discomfort as you watch awkward moments flare into horrible car crash arguments. Plus, the central murder plot is immediately exciting, allowing all the actors to play within a really dark but enjoyable framework. A restrained examination of suburban discontent, Thoroughbreds is pitch-perfect satire that never lets its mask slip. Number 8, Sorry to Bother You. It's been a remarkable year for indie debuts, and rapper Boots Riley instantly announced himself as a singular filmmaking voice with this mind-bogglingly bizarre satire of what it means to be a black man in modern America. Lakeith Stanfield's career continues to go places with a remarkable lead performance, playing a black man who affects a white voice in order to be more successful at his telemarketing job. Now that's just the tip of the iceberg in a film which veers off in several unexpectedly surreal directions, which, while perhaps being a little too zany for some tastes, is nothing if not fearless in its commitment to the absurd. Tessa Thompson and Armie Hammer also bring plenty to the table in meaty supporting roles, and if you're game to follow Riley down his demented rabbit hole, there are rewards aplenty waiting there for you. Number 7, The Kindergarten Teacher. A rare remake of a foreign film which actually improves upon it, the English language version of The Kindergarten Teacher benefits from a jaw-dropping Maggie Gyllenhaal performance as a teacher who becomes alarmingly obsessed with a prodigy of a young student. It's an extremely tricky premise and one which could strike the wrong tone so easily, yet Gyllenhaal's tight turn knows when to crank things up and when to rein it in, finding truths both heartbreaking and unsettling in her desperately unsatisfied protagonist. The second-hand embarrassment might be too strong for some audiences, but as low-key character dramas go, this was one of 2018's most disappointingly unsung. Number 6, The Old Man and the Gun. Robert Redford opted for his final film to be a quiet character drama with the window dressing of a heist film, and the result is a dignified, charming exit for the screen legend. Now, The Old Man and the Gun is not terribly exciting as movies centered on bank robberies go, but thanks to the effortlessly entertaining chemistry between Redford and his co-star Sissy, there is a warm, comforting film with refreshingly modest goals. And don't forget the strong work from Casey Affleck, who is just on fire here. Adding yet another diverse project to his cachet, writer-director David Lowery makes the most of Forrest Tucker's singularly strange life and times. And if this truly is Redford's last ever performance, he went out on a bang bigger and more satisfying than even your mum could deliver. And she's got a back door like the TARDIS. And also, that's my one per list. Number 5, Ghost Stories. This is one of those films that's honestly so much better the less you know about it, so I'll try to adhere to this ideal with my description. description. All I'll say is that it's a slow-burning horror anthology that's at times silly and at other times downright unsettling. And all of this is supported by an outstanding cast who weave a greater narrative in a way that means you never really know what's going on even after the final act has concluded. It's a film that embraces the best of the genre, the absolute absurdity alongside the abominable. It's something that you simply shouldn't read into, and just instead, simply go and watch. Number 4, American Animals. A heist film like none you've ever seen before. American Animals dramatizes the 2004 library theft at Kentucky's Transylvania University with tenacious aplomb. As a fusion of documentary and drama, it's absolutely stunning, constantly pulling the audience out of the story to make them consider the reliability of the characters, and at one point even inserting one of the real-life subjects into the narrative story. This isn't just a mere show gimmick though, and it actually pays off in the director's clear fascination of how people perceive themselves within the context of their own legacies. Another gripping aspect of the piece is simply how much the tone is played with. Sometimes you'll be experiencing exhilaration, and at other times a real sense of danger when things start to get truly disturbing. The central ensemble of Evan Peters, Barry Keoghan, Blake Jenner, Jared Abramson and Ann Dowd are remarkable, bolstering one of the year's most daring movies that many, unfortunately, just didn't get the chance to see. Number 3, The Miseducation of Cameron Post. Although this film got off to a great start, winning the Grand Jury Prize at Sundance in January 2018, it suffered the same fate as many of the festival's films in that it simply faded from memory. By the time of its release in August, many had forgotten about it, and it never seemed to gain any real cultural sway, nor get an award season push that it should and would have been deserving of. And it's a true shame, because this film is a brilliant coming-of-age and coming-out story. Focusing on the titular Cameron, who is sent to a gay conversion therapy centre, the film is able to convey just how awful these things are, but without losing sight of the compassion shown by Cameron and the other people she meets at the centre. And it's also bleakly funny too. It's a very tricky balancing act, but led by Chloe Grace Moretz's career best performance, we get a story that not only feels relevant and will leave you outraged, but also manages to be sweet, emotional, and funny too. Number 2, Wildlife. Paul Dano comes out swinging in this directorial debut, proving that he's picked up more than a few tricks from the various legendary auteurs that he's worked with over the years. This adaptation of Richard Ford's acclaimed novel finds Carey Mulligan and Jake Gyllenhaal in never better form as a 1960s couple struggling to cope in the wake of Gyllenhaal losing his job. As a look at fragile masculinity, the family unit, and the American dream in post-war America, Wildlife is jam-packed with insight which is as relevant today as it was in that period. Examining the complexity of human relationships while refusing to take sides, Dano proves himself an exemplary director on his first time up to bat. And number 1, You Were Never Really Here. Joaquin Phoenix gives one of the best performances of his career, and that's sure saying something in this film, Lynn Ramsey's brutal crime thriller. Taking familiar material and shining it through Ramsey's singular lens, the result is a dizzyingly intense, ultra-violent and psychologically potent character-driven genre effort, with Phoenix displaying full mastery of his craft. At just 90 minutes in length, it doesn't outstay its welcome even for a second, racing through some typical thriller beats such as a hired gun re-examining his life amidst a personal crisis, yet feeling fresh thanks to its go-for-broke central performance, stunning visuals and evocative Johnny Greenwood score. It's short and near perfect in its execution, so why not treat yourself to a night in with this big bad lad?
Look, my son, look at the marvel that I have created. Comics. They called me a fool for trying to put a dead meme onto a t-shirt. A damn bold fool! A damn bold fool with an ass that won't quit. It got quite personal towards the end there. But look who's laughing now! Quiet! Quiet, my son, my ugly son, for my other creation rises. Look at the quality fabric, hand-stitched by blind orphans. The perfect letter spacing calculated so meticulously that Rich Hudson had an erection for months about it. And a colouring so deep that I had to buy the dye off the dark web. Oh, for God's sake, Josh! Sorry. Marvel. Oh no, the beast has grown angry, angered by our drab fashion choices. I am such a fool to think that it wouldn't try to infect us with its perfect design. Quick, we must do something to appease the beast. Why don't we buy one from shop.whatculture.com? Look, it's already got Scott Nash.
Oh no!
But where can I buy one? Are you kidding me? This is why I don't give you any extra lines. But also at shop.whatculture.com. Quick, let's go and buy one right now. Let's go buy one right now.
Right now.
Oh, don't you try hard now. You've already lost your bit. Oscar's in the f***ing bin. Ah, there we go. Doesn't that look better? I feel so virile and alive, and it's also fixed your hump. That's actually pretty good. Now, do yourself a favour and act like your mum and spread the love, aka her legs, and buy yourself one of these glorious dead memes on a t-shirt, courtesy of this handsome chap right here. You're very, very welcome.
Cut!
Jesus Christ, mine is so
It's
itchy.
all wet. What? It stinks.
I pissed on yours.
The worst font ever.
I want to die.